Good morning. It's Monday, so it's time for some book talks. This weekend, I listened to Don't Ask Me Where I'm From by Jennifer De Leon. It is about a girl named Liliana Cruz who has several things going on. One, her dad has been missing in action for almost a month at this point, and her mom is being real cagey about where he may be. She has also learned she's been accepted into the METCO program, which is a school desegregation program that buses inner city kids to the suburbs of Boston for different educational experiences. So it's quite different from her previous school. This one has lots of fancy new resources that she did not have at her other school, and pretty much everybody's white. So she's not used to that, and they're not really used to her, and some things happen throughout the story as far as like adjustment wise and culture shock and talking about the issue of diversity and inclusion and conversation about that. So that's one part of the story. The other part of the story is where is Dad? And it's not a surprise, like it does tell you pretty quickly in the story that she finds out that her dad is an undocumented immigrant and that he has been deported back to Guatemala. So then comes the question is like, well, am I going to see him again? He's going to be able to come back to us here in Boston? How's that going to happen? Is how dangerous is this? So there's a lot of talking about that and stress about that with her and her mother and her two little brothers. But other than that, it is a really good story about figuring out who you are, your place in the world, and how things work. But if you are interested in other stories about undocumented immigrants or people whose family members were and the situation going on with that, we have a couple of other books here. In this book, she mentions Enrique's journey, which is about a boy who is traveling across the United States-Mexico border to reunite with his mother, who has been working in the United States for years. That is a nonfiction story. The English version is currently checked out, and the Spanish version looks like it's been lost, so we'll have to replace it. But if you're interested in reading that, you can always put it on hold. We also have a couple of other nonfiction. This book is mentioned in the book that I just read, The Distance Between Us. That is nonfiction. The Devil's Highway is also nonfiction about a group of men journeying through the desert and the trials that they faced along the way. This one, In the Country We Love by Diane Guerrero. This is about, she's a famous actress now, but when she was a teenager, both of her parents were deported while she was at school one day. So she comes home and, what's going on. So imagine how scary that would be to face that. We also have Dear America, Notes of an Undocumented Citizen. We have this in both English and Spanish. Someone Like Me, this is another nonfiction account. So real true stories. And we also have this picture book that I just finished reading called Hear My Voice. And this is by Project Amplify, which is seeking to share the stories of children who have been held in detention facilities at the United States-Mexico border and the treatment that they have faced there. So one side is in English. You can flip it over and read it the other side in Spanish. So, not a fun book, but an important book to raise awareness about what's going on in these situations. We also have a couple of other fiction stories. We have The Only Road and Crossroads. These are fiction about, I think it's two siblings coming from Guatemala to America. It's a fictional story based on real events. And this one is also fiction, but it is one that I talked a lot about last year. It's about some teenagers coming from Guatemala to the United States, and what are they running from in Guatemala, and what do they have to go through to get here, including a description of detention centers at the border. So anyway, any and all of those books are available here in our library. If you would like to check one out, you can come down and check it out, or you can send me an email and put it on hold. If you put a book on hold, you can either pick it up or I will have it delivered to your fourth period class. You just got to tell me which one you want. So, and that is all for today, and I'll see you guys next week.